Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 12. We're here for round 14 out of 20. It's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at the streets of Baku. .13 at the moment, still expecting one more of Yonder to join for this 18-minute session qualifying. As we'll be expecting the first cars to exit onto the track, starting with AP Cookster in the Red Bull, exiting the pit lane into turn 1, followed by the Alpine of Cow, heading out onto the track. So, yeah, Ethan will join in quali. Okay, cool. So, after last week's Dutch Grand Prix, which saw Oren take a very commanding win, around one of his best tracks. He also comes to Baku, also saying this is a pretty strong track for him, but Singapore onwards for the final 6, maybe more of a challenge, we will see. But yeah, Oren's looking strong at the moment, extending his gap to Samurai from when it went down to 43 to 18 after Samurai won the Belgian Grand Prix a fortnight ago and Oren retired. That 18-point gap has gone almost back up to 33 points after he gained 15 after Samurai finished 5th. Frankie got 2nd in the Mercedes reserving, and Yannick got his 2nd podium in EXFL Tier 2. Joined in Spain last season, got his only podium up until last week here last season, and he's returned one season later with another podium to his name at his home Grand Prix as well last week, so he was very happy about that. And yeah, we'll see what Yannick can do this time around. Last season's podium, which saw Navek win, obviously he's in Tier 1 right now, and the podium with Yannick and Birdie. Obviously, yeah, Yannick's gone ahead and got another podium. Before Birdie, which I don't think anyone would have predicted. But yeah, Birdie not racing today. But yeah, still looking for that 2nd podium. But few returning faces and one new faces on today's grid. We got Ollie in the Mercedes after a few weeks of not racing. He's back, and we'll see what he can do. We got Jack in the Ferrari reserving. He joined the league about a couple hours ago. He's a friend of Fnatic, and I guess a friend of Toby then. But yeah, Fnatic got Jack into the league, so he's reserving here in Ferrari to make his debut. And a track like Baku to make your debut at, that is quite the first race, because EXFL obviously doesn't race at Monaco. So, I mean, I say this every season, but Baku is, for me, hands down, the most difficult track to win at. It's definitely the toughest in terms of how close the walls are, the certain types of corners, the speed you need, the confidence you need around these tight and twisty corners, especially considering it's the 2nd longest track of the season, just behind Spa, but considering a big majority of Spa is full throttle for the straights of Blanchimont and just after Eau Rouge, I'd say this one just about passes it, even though we have the long straight, like the really long straight, start finish, and then after turn 2 to 3, it's still challenging, just like the castle section area. But yeah, Jack, I mean, Will IR Fnatic said Jack is a bit slower than him pace-wise, but we'll see what can happen. Obviously, Fnatic, first race in Tier 2 was Hungary. He finished a bit of a distant 7th, but it was a good couple points. And in the last couple weeks, Fnatic's been right there. He's finished 2nd on track both times, obviously getting that great P2 in Belgium, and he did finish P2 last week in Netherlands, but he unfortunately sped into the pit lane, which dropped him all the way down to 8th because there was a very close fight from 2nd down to 8th, and he lost out, unfortunately, all those points for Haas. Anyway, Cookster has set the pace with a 39.6, so yeah, that's a very good lap time from the Red Bull, as Cal 1.3 behind, half a second ahead of Louis, who's gone off in turn 1, and yeah, Jack crossed the line 2 seconds down on Cookster's time. Ollie's out there ghosting for some reason. There we go. Yannick finishing his lap then. The Mercedes just in front of him of Eggy, who got, I think, was it 6th last time out, fighting away with the lot. Eggy crosses the line. It's a 39.696, 55 thousandths behind, and Yannick is a further 7/10ths behind as well. Toby's on his outlap. Samurai currently in the middle sector, 35.6 first sector, and it's a 16.399 in the middle. And, well, the last sector, besides the quick left-hander, you don't really have to worry about anything else besides battery. We've got Matt coming across the line, reserving in the Ferrari as well. Across the line, it's a 140.9 to put himself fourth. And then Fnatic has just begun his lap, I believe. And Oren has... Oh, no. He's in a bit of a predicament, Oren. You got to be careful here to not get disqualified. And he's just about gotten away with it. So the championship leader, well, that's really messed up practically half his qualifying, because you can see he's got wing damage. Exiting the pit lane, he's gone straight into the wall. He's lucky that he's not been disqualified from qualifying for reversing. He just about got away with that, because we have seen that in the past plenty of times. But yeah, Oren has escaped the biggest punishment he could have had in this quali. But obviously with half a front wing, he'll have to pit. And around this track, he's going to lose a good 3, 4, 5 minutes before he can actually start a lap. And with the amount of time left in the session when he does that, will that be enough for 2 runs? Or is Oren only going to get 1 run? You see this one mistake cycles towards the whole of qualifying now, considering he's left the pit lane with about 12.5 minutes to go, and he's wasted a third of the quali, and now he might waste another third. Fnatic 23.7 in the middle, Toby 36.1 in the first, and Ollie has invalidated as he's running up to the line. But yeah, big gap out in front between Cookster and Eggy. 2 names that would be great to see at the front fighting for this win. But yeah, Samurai 1.1 seconds down. He was half a second up, but he's invalidated somewhere. But at least he knows there's time on the board there. That would get him definitely ahead of Yannick and close the gap towards Eggy. As yeah, Grush went 6th. Grush, who obviously had 5 poles in a row, and then it ended after Silverstone. The second half of this season has not gone the way he would have hoped so far. He missed last week. He finished 4th in Spa. And Hungary, he got hit off at the exit of turn 1 on the opening lap by Dello, and was last in about 15th or 16th, and came to finish 11th, just missing out on a point by just under a 10th. So yeah, it's been quite an unfortunate first 3 races to the second half of the season for Grush, but he's looking good. That was a pretty solid first sector from the McLaren, who looks like he's going to keep that chrome livery. As it's been a while since he's used the normal one, so it looks like that will be staying with him for the foreseeable future. Navigating his way very nicely through the middle technical sector, as the Haas in front of him of Will is also on a lap, but Grush is closing up to him quite quickly. You might even, if he times this right, get a pretty nice slipstream if he can handle the dirty air through this next corner, and the corner just before. It looked a bit scruffy. A 15.9, there we go, 7/10 out of the way, and Will actually gets out of the way, so he backs off. Cooks is in the pits, Eggy's on an outlap, Yannick Samurai in the pits. Matt's not going anywhere, he's invalidated, so we'll see what Grush could do then. Up by 3/4 of a second, which would certainly put him 3rd. But how close can he get towards the provisional front row at the moment? 39.6. Time to beat. 40.2. As there we go, Yonder's joined. Which puts Grush 3rd. But like I said, there is still quite a margin to the top 2. And what about Oren? Has he fixed his wing? We can't see. There's a Mercedes in front of him. There we go. He's fixed his wing. He's entered the... Whoa, that was close. He's entered the pits, fixed his front wing. I think he's fine with Ollie. Yeah, he's, Ollie and Oren, the 2 mates. One of the, no, they weren't ever teammates, but they're definitely mates, as they're certainly fighting it on here in Baku. Round the outside goes Oren, wheel-to-wheel stuff between the Aston and Mercedes. Good between them. Let's see them go wheel-to-wheel through here then. As down the inside goes Ollie, and Oren just has to back off as they'll carry on through the castle section. Oren trying to make sure he doesn't break a second front wing in 5 minutes' time. That was so close to the wall, but they're really pushing to give a little bit of a show here. Side by side between the pair. Oren gets caught on the curve, which sends you wide, and somehow just avoids taking Ollie out, as I think Ollie backed off there. And, well, Ollie's 3.7 off, so neither of them have really got a great lap time on the board yet. Alpine 7th and 8th so far at the moment as well. That's not too bad. Toby. Just going to double check. There we go. Toby, I'd say, as of the last 7-8 races, has been probably the most bipolar driver. He either gets great results, seconds and thirds, or he's down in 11th and 10th and whatnot as Honda gets into his RB. But right now, not too bad of a lap time for the Haas so far, as Eggy's currently on a lap in the first sector split. And yeah, if you haven't noticed, Oren's teammate Callum isn't here, as Oren's got that all wrong on the exit of 2 sliding. Eggy down by a 10th in the first sector, hitting the wall for good measure on the inside as well, as Samurai begins his lap as well. So yeah, 2 RBs now, but only 1 Aston Martin. Aston lead by 14 points ahead of RB, so a bit of an opportunity for Yannick and Yonda today to try and close the gap to Aston Martin. I mean, Williams are further 50, 60 behind, and they've only got Samurai today, as Birdie's letting them down. Toby goes into the top 5 then. Eggy about to finish the middle sector split, as we have an Alpine charging towards the line of Cow, who's up by nearly 4 tenths, and this could propel him into the top 5. He just misses out by about 3/4 of a tenth, but he does go ahead of Samurai, who's at the moment up by 3 tenths. So what about Eggy, who's down by even more, 1/4 of a second? So unless he's messed up turn, I think it's 16, the left-hander, and he can find a lot of time, because that really is the make or break that can send you all the way down the straight, he'll have to go again. And he's moving over to the left, he's in the pits. So what about Oren then, championship leader, 15.7, middle sector, that's pretty solid. I think that's around about where Cookster and Eggy have been. Cookster is, I think, yeah, he's 2 tenths down in the first sector, so he will have to go again. So neither Cookster and Eggy can improve on their provisional time. Oren will cross the line, it's going to be a 39. Oh no, it's in the 40s, it's a 40.0, so Oren just missing out on the 39s, but he places his Aston in the middle in P3 between Grush and Eggy. So, at the moment, as Samurai crosses the line and he dislodges his championship rival Oren down to 4. So Samurai ahead of his title challenger in P3. So yeah, good luck from him. 5.5 minutes to go. But yeah, there's still quite a bit of a gap. And I don't want to say it's too early, but could this be a bit of redemption from Austria? AP Cookster, who joined the league towards the end of last season, has been slowly improving his qualifying pace bit by bit. He had his moment in Austria, but got impeded by the guy who qualified last, who took away a potential from the guy who could have qualified first. He ended up qualifying, I think, 5th or something. Cookster, whose best race finish has also been 5th. His race pace he's definitely had to work on recently, because even though he's had strong-ish qualifyings, he's somehow just gone a bit backwards in the race and found himself behind the usual train that forms at the front. But look at that, he's up by 2 tenths. We're in the 34s in Sector 1. Could we see AP Cookster on pole for the first time in EXFL Tier 2 around the streets of Baku in his Red Bull? Because he's looking very much dialed in. Cookster, who's had a best qualifying of 3rd, a best race finish of 5th, is currently looking like he's had so many poles and wins, because he is in full control at the moment. Running well with the Red Bull. You can see his battery's just above 50%, but he's used a lot of the green bar. Turning in, turn 15, just brushing the wall slightly. Middle sector split. What is it? He's up by 4 tenths, a 15.0. Remember, Oren did a 15.7, gets caught on the curb. Might bottom him out slightly, but he's up by a huge amount of lap time, is AP Cookster. Laps like we haven't seen before. This is the unfinished Austria lap for the Red Bull. Hits the wall for good measure. He's trying to find every inch of lap time, and he'll cross the line in a few seconds. AP Cookster, currently on provisional pole, increases his chances, but only by 62 thousandths, actually. Considering he was up by 4 tenths of a second, did hitting that wall cost him that much? Or maybe just the exit of bottoming out on the curb? Well, he increases his time at least, but I think we all know there's still at least 2 or 3 tenths in that final sector then for the Red Bull. But still, so far, so good. But well, actually, maybe it's not so far so good, because we've only got just over 3 minutes to go. And I don't think Cooks is going to be able to get back to the pit lane and go again. So, bit of a waiting game then for the Red Bull to see if that's good enough for his first ever pole, or if he loses it by just under 2 and a bit or 3/10, he'll know why. Maybe it's Eggy's to take now. Maybe it's Samurai's or Oren, who's on an outlap. Grush is currently on a lap. I don't know if he's got enough to go for 2 runs. Toby's in the pits. Cal up in 8th. Matt in an Alpine sandwich at the moment, with Louis just rounding out the top 10. Jax in 11th. Ollie 12th. Fnatic's down in 13th. And Yonder, obviously, I think he'll start 14th. At the moment, unless Cookster's fueled enough for one more run. But we'll see. I really don't know if he is. It's not like Cookster to usually do multiple runs. The people in the tier who do usually multiple runs are Samurai, Grush, I guess sometimes Cal or Fnatic. He's moving over to the right though. He's not moving left to go into the pit lane. So maybe Cookster is fueled enough to go again. And he better hope so. So Cookster with a minute 50 goes for one more. And if he can at least maintain his lap time in the first 2 sectors, he can improve his chances. Lock up into turn 2 and he slides. And that is it for Cookster. Qualifying over, and now it really is a waiting game. He just tried too much in the first couple corners trying to push. But it was all at the end of the lap that he really needed to focus on. But right now, it's just, like I said, he's just got to wait for it. Grush up slightly in the first sector. Oren begins his final run too. Dipping his wheels onto the curb on the exit of 1 there. Into 2 then. Over the inside curb. Gets it a lot better this time from a few tries ago. Yannick is currently making his way through the middle sectors. We see Samurai begin his lap time. And behind him is the Mercedes of Eggy, who's also going to begin his lap. So back to Yannick then, who's up by 3/10 in the first 2 sectors. A 15.6. Remember, Oren did a 15.7 in the first sector. And Oren is up by nearly a second in the first sector. That was, I think, a 10th quicker than what Cookster was doing when he did his 0.9. Oren's done a 0.863, and Samurai's out! He's hit the wall, I think, at turn 3, as we see the Mercedes of Eggy about to pass him. Well, good job he ghosted for Eggy. But unfortunately, Samurai's hit the wall, either on the inside or going too deep on the outside. But he's out qualifying and will be no higher than 3rd. Yannick's gone 4th while all that was happening. But someone stop Oren, because he is flying, nearly flying into the barriers. Finishing the middle sector split now. He's up by 1.3 seconds is the Aston Martin. And this surely looks like it's going to be pole position for the Aston. Eggy up by quite a bit of time as well, actually, in the first sector. But surely this is pole to lose for Oren now, who's going to absolutely demolish Cookster's time. Could we even see a time in the 38s? He's just missed out on the 40s, but Oren crosses the line. It's a 38.7 for the championship leader. Absolutely smashes the time from Cookster, but now we see what Eggy can do. He's 9/10 trailing, but he's up by 7/10. So Eggy might be the only one left to deny Oren pole position. Eggy, who's done pretty well here in the past, and trying to make up for the end of the season he missed out on last season. So Eggy towards the line. It should be at least a front row start. Is it good enough for pole position? Eggy crosses the line. He's just missed out by just under a 10th to Oren. Mighty effort from the Mercedes as Cookster has to settle at the moment for his joint career best start of 3rd. I mean, even if he found those few tenths he lost in sector 3, it wouldn't have changed anything for now. Yannick crosses the line and he'll stay where he is. Grush, he's down. He's not going any quicker. Matt's up to 7th. Cal's 8th. Toby, who's up by 1.1 seconds, trailing by 1.8 seconds. Is this lap time good enough for maybe a 3rd place? Fnatic goes 3rd, and Haas lock out the 2nd row with 2 great lap times at the end from Fnatic and Toby to be 3rd and 4th. Grush will cross the line down in 8th. So his second half not going any better. We'll hope it gets a bit better in the race, and Matt's not improving, so Yonder will start last. Ollie 13th, Jack 12th on debut, then the 2 Alpines with Cow in the top 10, Matt 9th, Grush 8th, Yannick 7th, Samurai 6th. He'll hope for more in the race. Cook still be 5th then, with the Haas locking out the 2nd row. Eggy on the front row, and Oren takes another pole position with Aston Martin. Who are we waiting on? We're waiting on Matt and Yonder to retire in the pit lane. But yeah, Haas right at the end there. Fair play. But yeah, that's quite a gap between the second row to the front row. Wow. 854,098. Wait, what? Okay, either Oren made a mistake or he's got very high wings if he's losing that much to Eggy in the last sector. Let's have another look at that. 8, 5. So Eggy's lost 2 tenths. 5, 9. So another 4 tenths. That's 6 tenths. And then Eggy's done a 3.8. And Owen's done a 4.4, which is only just under a tenth slower than his initial time. So I'm going to assume, if Eggy's losing 4 tenths in the middle, that Oren's got quite high wings and Eggy's got very low wings. So if Eggy can get ahead of Oren, then maybe that's good enough. But don't be surprised if by the end of lap 1, or maybe just before we finish lap 1, that Oren's maybe got like a second or so lead. Because that middle sector he's going to be pretty good at. But Eggy should be able to close it down on the straights at least, depending on battery. And also just depending on how good they are. Right, so we should hear some ticking noises soon, signalling the start of the formation lap. It's going to be a long one. And yeah, we'll see what people start on. Should be a simple medium hard. If anyone decides to start on hards, it's a bit risky considering, it's Baku. If you finish the race, you're pretty certain to get some points. It's a shame we don't have people like Stepan or Simon or whatnot who have done, I don't know, 7, 10, 11 races. And those records of like most races without a point or most races before first points. Today would be a huge opportunity for that, but neither of them are here. So, I mean, Jack's making his debut. And maybe he could even get points on debut. This is taking a while. Ah, there we go. Alright, ticking noises. Signal the start. 1 light, no lights. And Oren will lead them away. Oh, I don't need any of that. Right, tyres. Oh, it is a bit of a mix. We've got 5 people on hard compound tyres. The first one is Yannick, who, to be fair, does like to start on hards from here and there. So he'll be the leader of the hard compound runners. Then we have Matt, and then we have both Alpines also on the hards, and then Ollie right at the back on the hards as well. Yonder, like always, going to try and make his way through. And this is one of those tracks, probably one of the least tracks, where you have to worry about warnings. If you get a 3-second time penalty around here, that's definitely not going to be on you. Because the only corners you can really cut are the corner Oren's heading into just before the castle section, and then the exit of the chicane just after the castle section. So here, if you turn in too early, you might pick up a warning or so. So I'm just getting the temp in his tyres, heading into the castle. And then maybe if you run too wide on the right here, you could pick up another warning. I'd say the only other place you could maybe get one is if you are kind of brain dead and absolutely mount the inside of this corner coming up. But I don't know, mounting it would probably give you wing damage if you hit the right hand side. Anyway, Gurush will look to make up a place on Yannick potentially. Jack, who knows? Maybe he could have an electrifying start to his Tier 2 career because he's got 3 people in front of him on hards. But as for Yonder, we know he's a bit of a pro now at making his way through the field. Remember, Aston lead the championship by 14 points ahead of RB, and RB are currently down in 7th and 14th. So the 3 of the 4 racing today in the top 2 fight. One's first, one's last, and one's dead in the middle. So we'll see how that pans out. It's Baku. It's expect the unexpected. I think that's the motto that's usually plastered on that big double building in the middle left. But it's also tier 2. Anything can happen. And, shortest run down to turn 1. As the 2 Haas cars slot into position, followed by Cookster, Samurai, Yannick, Grush, Matt, Cow, Louis, Jack, Ollie, and Yonder. They've both failed their parking at the back. But here we go then. Round 14 of 20. 7 races to go. 5 lights on, ahead of the drivers, here in Baku. Lights out, and away we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Oren then into turn 1, under pressure from Eggy to the inside. Eggy takes the lead. Oren around the outside trying to fight it back. The top 2 side by side. Will Eggy go to the inside? Yes, he will. Eggy leads the Azerbaijan Grand Prix ahead of Oren. Then the 2 Haas cars nearly swapping. Samurai ahead of Cookster into P5. And then comes Yannick, then Grush, then the 2 Alpines ahead of Matt, who's just falling down the field. 3 wide between him and his teammate. Watching this all unfold. So the Ferrari's lost out to the inside. Yonder from last, already up into the top 10. As there, a change of leadership once again. Oren with Eggy. Eggy still to the inside, but Oren is now ahead and goes around the outside in front of the Mercedes. So the 2 Haas cars watching that unfold as oh, that's a big hit between Cookster and Grush, and they've connected. And now Yonder's got wing damage, and it's chaos unfolding on the opening lap already. Oren sliding his way now into the castle section for the first time. And I think they're all managing to make it through single file, just about avoiding the walls. No, they're not, because the Mercedes of Ollie has absolutely slapped Cookster even further down. Unfortunately, it's been a horrible opening lap for the Red Bull, as Cal has also dropped down to last as well, also has wing damage. So I'm definitely sure Fnatic and Toby both stream their races, so they'll have got a great view of what happened between Oren and Eggy into turn 3 there. Maybe Oren just got a good exit, not too sure. But anyway, let's enable everything, and 40%, 70% pretty much. We'll leave it on pens, but you can see Eggy slowly gaining on Oren. But Oren finishes the first lap, 4/10 clear of the Mercedes, who's trying to fight. And also Samurai, who's really trying to fight his way through to the inside on Toby. He knows he needs to make these moves as his championship rival's winning the race at the moment. Samurai to the inside, breaks pretty evenly with Toby, gives him the space round the outside. Good wheel-to-wheel battling between the Haas and the Williams. And now it's a bit of a drag race between the blue and the white, and Samurai has used a lot of his battery, and it looks like Toby didn't even bother to get into 4th as Eggy to the inside trying to fight away as there's a big fight here from Matt down to Ollie, but they stay single file for now. So Oren just in front of Eggy, who's definitely putting the pressure on as Samurai's gained 2 places. First on Cooksu, then got caught up with Grush, and now on Toby. So now he can save for the rest of the lap his battery and try and attack Fnatic. You can hear just the hitting of walls all around the circuit. So Yonder in 7th. You can see he's missing his left end plate. And don't forget about Yannick as well. If he can stick with this top 5 train on the hard compound tyres, he's not looking too bad. I mean, depending how tyre wear goes, you know, it should be a 1-stop. But who knows if anyone will try to. Safety cars and whatnot might come into play as well. So, Yannick within a second, but the detection point is all the way up here. 60 versus 60 for the top 2. As that's Jack falling down the order and spinning around. There's the detection point. As Yannick has definitely got DRS. Samurai's already used all of his. Fnatic's got 70, Eggy 40, Oren 35. So at the moment, single file for the top 4. And Toby and Yannick just sticking with. Yonder's in a bit of no man's land. Louis up to 8th as Grush and Matt fall ever further down. Does Grush also have wing damage? He's got his left end plate and his right. So yeah, he should be okay. As Eggy's got ahead of Oren. Simple, I think, DRS overtake there. So Eggy now into the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Oren so hasty into 2 and 3 we've seen so far. I need to make sure I catch the front stuff, not the stuff at the back, I guess. But yeah, Ollie at the back now because he's in the pits. But yeah, Eginen leads the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The flag waving in the background then. And now, if my theory is correct, that he has lower wings than Oren, who knows if he'll be able to pull away? Because you can see Oren struggling on the rear tyres, the rears that absolutely eat you up around this track, and he looks like he's not taking care of them at all. He was a good 20 meters after that exit, and he was still sliding. So Oren really struggling at the moment in those first few laps. Certainly lap 3, and he is really trying to control the car here. So yeah, tyre wear going to be a big issue. It's look like Yonder, even with wing damage, is catching these guys because they're just all saving the battery in the middle, and Yonder's just getting on with it. As you can see, look at this, swapping with Oren and Fnatic. Eggy's got Oren out of DRS. Oren is going to be a sitting duck. Here comes Samurai past Oren, but there's not really a gap to get past Fnatic. Probably the inside was better, but he's got past his championship rival. That's the key. And now, Samurai will just sit behind Fnatic for now. So, Eggy, Fnatic, Samurai, all past Oren already. And Toby's all on the back of him too. Yannick not a million miles away either. Braking late. And somehow they've all just avoided hitting the back of one another. Fnatic's regained DRS on Eggy. So Samurai, with no battery, really has to put it in none for this lap. And just wait for now. And what will Oren do? Because if his tyres are already that bad on lap 4 and he has to go until, you'd assume, at least lap 10 or 11, does he decide to turn this into a 2-stop? But yeah, for the championship, considering Oren was on pole and Samurai was 6, it was looking like that 33-point gap was just going to extend. Right now, it would go down a little bit to 30, but this race is far from over. Every time they go in the castle section, you hold your breath and you wince, hoping none of them hit it. But Oren has hit it with his rear tyre, and it's just gotten away with that. But he's lost DRS to Samurai. Oren really struggling at the moment. And yeah, Toby and the 2 RBs catching up. Remember, like I said, RB trailing Aston by 14 points at the moment. 12 to Aston and 14 to RB. As yeah, Callum, I think he's out with dinner with his family. Isn't that nice? As Matt still in front of Louis, clatters the wall, and Cook's still within DRS. Jack, Cal, and Ollie on their own. And could we see Fnatic become the 3rd leader of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, because he's only a couple tenths behind. He's got 30% versus Eggy's 40. They're not really blasting into overtake, but Fnatic doesn't need that. As we finish the end of lap 4, Iowa Fnatic now leads the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and in the background, Oren just hanging on in front of Toby. And oh, as Oren loses it on the middle bit between 1 and 2 to Toby, and using the ghosting system, bouncing over the curb with the traction. Yannick's managed to get ahead of him as well, the championship leader in turmoil, and has dropped down to 6 now. And could Yonder, even with a broken wing, be able to get past Oren? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's around about this time now where Yannick should have the best tyres of anyone in the top 7. As down the inside, Yonder just makes Oren watch his mirrors. Now tries to get the switchback because Oren's launched on the curb. And Yonder gets in front of Oren. What a great bit of driving from the RB. Put Oren on his toes. And yeah, that was a great overtake as he's up in a P6. As Oren, P1 to P7 at the moment. So, Oren's led the race, Eggy's led the race, now Fnatic leads the race, as he's been biding his time, you know, Fnatic in the Haas in P3, as Yannick now gets ahead of Toby in a very unorthodox place on the racetrack, but he must have been blasting his battery, or Toby was saving, because Yannick's up to 4th then, definitely using his tyres to good use. However, he will not have DRS, and Toby nearly has double the battery. So we'll see if Toby gets him back. But Yannick, he knows it, blasting all his battery to try and get away. As Fnatic's nearly got Eggy out of DRS. We got a yellow, and that's Ollie into the wall. And we have a virtual safety car as the top guys are just passing the pit lane. So what does Yonder and Oren do at the back? They're both going to pit. As yeah, that's a big opportunity for them. It came out just when they needed it. As they're slowing down. And will Yonder decide to change his wing. Everyone else just has to focus on not getting a drive through and speeding under this VSC. So Oren pits onto hard compound tyres. Yonder pits also onto hard compound tyres, onto mediums, but he's changing his front wing. Now he's let go. So Yonder's definitely going to have to pit again. Medium, medium. No one got a drive through after the VSC resumed. That has worked pretty well for Oren. That might get him back into this race with the front guys. However, pitting on lap 5 to 6 might be a bit too early. So Oren might have to pit one more time. Yonder definitely has to pit one more time. So he can just push like crazy and see what he can do. They've lost out to Louis, Matt and Grush, who are kind of separated, depending on Matt. But they should catch Louis quite quickly. Anyway, after the resumption, after that VSC, which saw Ollie out, I think he crashed around the castle section. Fnatic has got Eggy out of DRS, and Eggy has got Samurai out of DRS, who's under pressure from Yannick, who's certainly using his hard compound tyres to great effect. Samurai does have the most battery of the top three, but it's close. And it's borderline a tenth between him and Eggy, so he's got a blast from the exit of this corner to the detection point, and that might help him out. But he's got to make sure he looks after those rear tyres sliding through the left and the right-hander here. He's keeping the battery on, and you can see he's just a bit hesitant. But will he get it? I think he's just missed out, unfortunately. He turns it off, then realises he has to turn it back on again, as Yannick will be closing up to the Williams. You can see that red light flashing as Yannick, but he's a bit too far behind to try and get him for now. Samurai goes defensive just in case of any send, which puts Yannick off on the exit with the dirty air. But now Samurai's within a second, just about. They've just passed the detection, so Samurai will get DRS. And that should halt Yannick's charge for now, as Toby's just hanging on here as well. As, Fnatic out in the lead then. Hungary, P7. Belgium, P2. And then he took a step backwards last week in Netherlands, back to P8. And could this be P1? A one difference of as we have yellows, and that's Matt, who's gone off. And that'll help. Oh, no, it won't. Oh, it's still quite far behind. So Matt has made a mistake there. Still got his wing intact. Maybe he just went too deep and then just used the escape road and then reset. But anyway, a quick look at the gap. Oren's 18 seconds behind, and Yonder's nearly within DRS already of the Aston Martin. So if Oren already made his mediums die after, what, 4 laps or so, how long is it going to take for his hards? Because obviously the hards will be much more durable, but 20 laps? That's quite a bit. So we've lost Ollie. Jack, unfortunately, down in last, a bit on his own. Cal fighting away with Cookster. They've both, these three have definitely had some issues in their race, incident-wise. Oren might just get DRS on Matt before the detection. Yonder might just get it on Oren as well. The top 5 are pretty spaced out now as we finish lap 7. And when do we expect the first blink of these 5 to pit? It shouldn't be at least for another couple laps. But they'll be in a much better position than Oren in terms of tyre wear. Down the inside! Toby tries on Yannick. That was very close to a collision between the Haas and the RB. Samurai doesn't have DRS. This is Yannick's chance then to get the Williams. They're both blasting. You can see the red light flashing. Yannick trying to go for another podium to the inside on the Williams. Brakes later. Has the tyres. Samurai gives him the room. Doesn't fight it too much. And Yannick's up to P3 now on those hard compound tyres. Doing him very nicely at the moment. And Samurai will wait for now. Knows that was probably best to let him go. He can try and tow him towards the front two. And yeah, you can see Fnatic's got about, I'd say 3/10 of lap time on Eggy, about per lap or so. So it looks like Eggy's starting to struggle. And Fnatic, biding his time, watching Oren and Eggy fight, has allowed him to save those tyre wear, save that bit of tyre wear, get past Eggy, and pull a gap of now 2 seconds. But Samurai's nearly lost DRS to Toby now. So Yannick's looking pretty good, but he's going to have to go a bit longer into this race. But it's not a bad strategy, hard medium around here. If there's no safety car, it's probably better, to be honest. But again, it's a gamble because it's Baku. But right now, it's working out well for Yannick. However, if there was a safety car right now, Yannick might be in a bit of trouble. because everyone else could probably pit for hards and go to the end. But for now, Eggy, I said 2 or 3, make that a second a lap because he's under a lot of pressure because Fnatic's pulling away and Yannick is closing on Eggy. He doesn't really have battery. Eggy's not blasting it, so he's just going to let Yannick go. Yannick is up in a P2 now at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix on lap 9. As Samurai just holding off Toby, who's all over the back of the Williams as Louis pits. And now we're seeing side-by-side action between Oren and Matt. Oren breaks late, and round the outside goes Yonder too. Oren just keeps it on the road there, I think, as we see Toby has not been able to get past Samurai there. And Samurai will stay in front for now. And yeah, Yannick, who was 3 seconds behind Fnatic in turn 1, already down to 2.6. Now Yonder's ahead of Oren. So they're all blasting their battery. And all pretty low, trying to gain as much lap time possible. Next up is Grush then. 18 seconds, now 14 seconds. So Yonder will be the new net leader at the moment. And yeah, how much can Yannick eat into Fnatic's gap? We'll find out. Samurai, unfortunately, one who is also pretty hard on his tyres. I'm sure he'll want to pit soon because the gap's getting quite big. I'd say lap 9. I'd say lap 10 is the earliest. Lap 9, you really have to worry about the hards at the end. But lap 10, I'd say, is alright. Hear the scraping of the walls as a 2.6, now down to 2.2. And Yannick's got Eggy out of a second. Just about, but Eggy wants that DRS. He knows if he blasts all of it, of his battery now, as Yannick doesn't have any, then he can help himself with the DRS, which he has done very nicely. So good tactical thinking from the Mercedes, who now stops blasting, lets the DRS do the work, and he may even try and re-overtake Yannick. As Yannick just kind of powerless at the moment. Toby gets past Samurai. Yannick later on the brakes to the inside, though, as we have yellows. Oh, Toby! What's... Well, Toby's lost it on a straight somehow, as there's a lot of fighting there to the inside. Yonder's got past Grush. Oren on the exit, now trying to get past the McLaren as well. As oh, Yonder, I think playing some DRS games there, has just maybe cost himself because he's back behind Grush. I don't know why Yonder's just done that, because they were past the detection. So Yonder braking very early. That was very strange from the RB, as let Oren go and Grush again. As, yeah, Samurai pitted, and Toby spun, and has got wing damage on a straight. I'm going to assume I can connect the dots that it was between those two, because no way has Toby just lost it on a straight. As Yonder gets back in front of Grush. So, has Samurai gone into the pits, but Toby was there and didn't want to pit, and he's turned in, or they've crashed, or that was definitely a hit of the wall somewhere. Either way, I think there was an incident there between Samurai and Toby. We'll get a further look into that, I guess, later on. Like I said, Toby streams his races. There was a thing between Eggy and Oren on lap 1. And now Samurai and Toby on lap 9. So I guess that's just to keep in mind by the end. Yannick, this time last lap, 2.2. This time this lap, 1.8. But you can see Fnatic's got plenty of battery. So he's looking good. This seems to be around the lap you would pit. So Samurai pitted lap 9. He's definitely going to have to... Whoa. I think Louis just absolutely sent it into Cookster there. He's definitely going to have to watch himself. So Fnatic staying out. Eggy pits. And Oren will overtake him. And Yonder. I mean, his mediums will probably be falling off soon. But I don't know what goes through the mind of this guy sometimes, why he pulled to the left and backed off so much, but oh well. So Samurai ahead of Eggy. He's undercut him by a couple seconds. Remember, Samurai was behind Eggy by quite a few seconds, so that's the undercut for you. Samurai 3 seconds ahead of the Mercedes. At that rate, he will undercut Fnatic too. But he's got to look after his tyres. And he's about... what, 8-9 seconds behind Oren, who, if he pits again, maybe with how great the tyre difference is around here, Oren could maybe bring himself back into this if he puts some mediums on at the end, or even hards. Oh, Yonder hit the wall that hard that he ghosted. Who knows? As, well, this is quite bizarre from Fnatic. Yannick should still be gaining on him, but Fnatic's pulling away here and there. So Fnatic's doing a brilliant job at the moment. He said to me when he got his first podium a couple of weeks ago, he always prefers the strategies where he goes longer than everyone else. He likes the fact of having the youngest tyres by the end so he can be the quickest and gain. And at the moment, he's doing just that, and I wouldn't be surprised if he stays out for one more lap. Yep, fair enough. So the top two staying as they are. Samurai's catching Matt. He's just missed out on DRS, I think. Yeah, but he's still blasting. He's now got it to 4 seconds ahead of Eggy, so he's gained a whole second on this lap. And if Samurai can play his cards right with the first two corners, maybe he can catch Matt into turn 3. You can just see the difference between the Ferrari and the Williams. You might actually even watch his braking here. Matt, double lockup as they exit turn 2, and now Samurai will try and overtake the Ferrari, who's not blasting, doesn't fight it, and Samurai will get ahead as Cookster is out in the pit lane as Samurai gets in front of the Ferrari into turn 3. As whoa, Matt rear locks slightly as well. Samurai trying to chase down then, build as big of an undercut as possible on Fnatic, who, remember, in what was it? In Spa, Fnatic tried this as well. He went a bit longer than Samurai, who ended up winning the race, and Fnatic came out about 7 seconds behind the Williams and managed to close it down to around 3 seconds by the end, taking a good 4 or 5 tenths out of him on average per lap. And well, this is, I mean, both here and there were the 2 longest tracks. Maybe Fnatic can do it again, do a bit better, do a better job this time in terms of result-wise, and close Samurai down, because he's going to have, at this rate, a 3-lap tyre advantage over him if Fnatic pits this lap. But Yannick's got on with it now, and he's used all his battery, and he might have just come short of DRS by either 1,000th or a couple hundredths. Doesn't matter though. Fnatic is into the pit lane, and Yannick now becomes the 4th leader of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Fnatic this time doesn't speed, unlike last week. So, mediums become the hard compound tyres. Oren is ahead. So is Yonder. So is Samurai into turn 1. Fnatic heading into turn 1 now. There's Matt as well. So he's probably going to have to overtake him as well. So Fnatic exits the track. Well, it's going to be close, but he's behind Matt. And if he can time this right, maybe he can get in front of him into turn 3. Matt loses the car. And yeah, Fnatic should definitely be able to fly past the Ferrari. So Fnatic hasn't been undercut by Eggy. Eggy, I don't know what's happened with it. I don't know if he's been able to turn the hards on or anything, but or he's maybe just trying to look after them. But he has lost a lot of ground and hasn't been able to undercut Fnatic when he was ahead of Samurai. So yeah, Samurai looking good. He's caught the back of Yonder, and this might halt his progress because he's caught Yonder at probably the worst part of the track. So, Fnatic is only... Oh, as Eggy's got ahead of Matt down the inside. Yeah, Fnatic's only 3 seconds behind Samurai with a 3-lap tyre advantage. Samurai's definitely going to have to watch himself. And you can see the gap's going down quite a lot because Samurai's having to wait to get Yonder. We should expect Yannick in the pits earliest next lap. Shouldn't be this lap. As Oren is about 8 seconds ahead of Samurai. That's kind of stayed the same, to be honest. It was around 8 or 9. We should expect Samurai to fly by Yonder because he's got more battery. We have yellows, and the whole track is yellow, but we can't see a yellow dot. So, virtual safety car then. Yannick pits, and Oren stays out. And Yonder, he's going to pit as well because he went medium, so now he can pit onto hards as well. So both RBs into the pit lane then. I wonder if that happened a few seconds earlier, could Oren have pitted? Did he not react in time? Could he have reacted in time? Because that might have been the golden opportunity for Oren to pit as well. But if he only has another set of mediums, then maybe he couldn't have pit because maybe he can't make that to the end. If he had another set of hards, I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out. But Yannick, Yannick's taken the gamble to pit maybe a lap earlier than what he would have wanted because, again, like I said, he's on mediums. But Yannick's come out in P4 on mediums, meaning he is going to be very quick, even in front of Eggy. That's just rubbing salt in the wound for the Mercedes, unfortunately. Yonder exits in 8th, so he can go to the end just fine. And, yeah, Toby's down in 10th because of that front wing change. Fighting away with Matt as Callum gets ahead of, I believe, the person who caused the virtual safety car, which was Jack. He's lost his front wing. He returns to the pit lane to get a nose change, and Louis sped under the VSC, unfortunately. So, well, 8 seconds has now gone to 6 between Oren and Samurai. The top 2 in the World Championship, 1 and 2. That's helped Oren's tyre wear a little, I guess. Remember, Oren pitted on lap 6. If you want to see tyres... no, it's not that. There we go. So I'd assume Oren can't go to the end there. Samurai's hards are also going to be a bit iffy towards the end. He pitted lap 9, and knowing how he treats his tyres, he's going to have to do a lot of tyre management, but also try and be quick, because Fnatic is very quick at the moment. He is closing that gap to Samurai, and behind him is Yannick, who, while he might be very quick now, has also got to look after his mediums by the end. But we know Yannick is pretty good at his tyres, but that is still a challenge for any driver. And Eggy, well, he's just going to have to see what he can do as well. As yeah, Louis is going to have to serve his drive-through, but it looks like he's not going to serve it this lap, as he's being overtaken by Grush in P6, and Yonder will close up too. Yonder is, yeah, a pit stop behind the leader at the moment, as Toby flies past Matt. Yeah, we'll keep on tyres, why not? I feel like that's going to be the main definition for the last 11 or so laps. Samurai just pulling away from Fnatic by a couple tenths in the first bar of the lap at least. Yannick sparking, closing up. Any one of these 4, I guess, I would put my money still on Eggy to win this race. But even Oren, you never know. If Oren pits now, he'd come out, I don't know, around about Grush. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Oren. That was a big opportunity, that virtual safety car for Oren. But again, oh my God. Every time they go through there, I think he's spun or something. As we see Yonder getting past Louis. I still don't know why he really decided to stay out, not just serve his drive-through. He's sliding 6 lap old mediums as well. Samurai closing the gap then. Fnatic closing slightly too. No one's got a fuel light. No, everyone's good on that. So yeah, again, we don't know if Oren has another set of hards or mediums, and we don't know if when the VSC got deployed, where exactly he was on this straight. I didn't exactly see. But he's just got to keep doing what he's doing at the moment. But those tyres are surely going to start to degrade soon. Fnatic fastest lap of the race. We'll see if Oren can somehow take those to the end. Remember, he did that in Italy many weeks ago. He took those hard compound tyres to the end, even pulled away at one point on really ancient, worn hard compounds. But we'll see. He's sliding around 10 laps now on those. We see Grush under pressure from Yonder now, who's made 2 stops compared to his 1. And yeah, Yonder not close enough at the moment. Whoa. Oh no. Louis, who has served his drive-through, who has now gone too deep into the pit lane, exit, has lost his front wing on the right. And yeah, well, that's promoted Cal up into the points. And oh, Louis. He's definitely going to be angry. But hopefully he can get that car back around and pit and maybe come out in front of Jack, who's definitely wants some company at the moment. Oren clouting the wall there. As a Fnatic looming around a second. Yannick's actually not gaining that much on Fnatic than I thought he would. The gap stayed quite constant. He's pulling away from Eggy, who's a distant, lonely 5th now. It's going to be close. Well, I don't know if it will be close, because Samurai's got half of what Fnatic's battery is, and Fnatic has got DRS. So Samurai trying to do his best for his championship charge, because he knows his title rival is in front of him, but he might have to pit again, as we have yellows. And that's Louis out. And that's a 3rd virtual safety car. I'm sure a few people were saying, what does it take to have a full safety car? So Louis with wing damage. I wondered if he was going to be able to take the castle section. Yeah, the leader's already passed it when it came out. I wondered if he was going to be able to take the castle section with that front wing of his, and he has not, which is a bit stupid on his part, considering, you know, he has wing damage. He should have been a bit more careful. He was not careful. He was probably angry, and now we're in this situation. So, who has it helped? Well, it's made Garouche pit. I guess he can get those mediums to the end and catch up to Matt and Toby. It's not really helped, per se, anyone in the top set. It's just helped battery-wise and fuel, but that's not really relevant. So yeah, it's helped everyone get up to a full battery, which I guess between Samurai and Fnatic has helped Samurai a bit more, because Samurai had less battery, but the VSC's over. Has that helped Oren? Because I guess the rest haven't closed up to him as much. We've had 2 virtual safety cars in this stint of Oren's. So without those 2, maybe Samurai or whoever would have been second would have been a lot closer to Oren. But for now, the gap's 4 seconds. But the question is Samurai going to catch Oren first, or will it be Fnatic? Because I feel when we start lap 18, we could see the Haas ahead of Samurai. So back to what I was saying a lap ago. Samurai trying to do his absolute best to close the gap in the championship, but he's got Fnatic right behind him, who wants to become the newest Tier 2 Grand Prix winner in just his 4th race, and blasting his battery then on Samurai, who's kind of powerless. Goes to the middle of the track, and Fnatic will just fly by with battery and DRS. Iowa Fnatic is into P2 now, ahead of Samurai on fresher tyres as well. And this victory looks very promising now for the Haas. I guess that VSE made that overtake come 1 lap later than it probably should have. But yeah, Samurai still knows he can pick up good points on Oren. If if Oren tries to get to the end, they should all be able to catch him. Or B, Oren will try and pit, and I don't know if he'll catch them in time, but we'll see. But yeah, Fnatic. P7 on debut, 2nd in Belgium, 8th last week, but it was 2nd on the road. So technically, if you ignore the pens, 7th, 2nd, and right now he's on track to probably win. He's just getting better and better as Fnatic, and it's great to see. Toby's mate, Fnatic, who joined the Tier 2 lobbies, but to, I guess, engineer and help Toby, or maybe just watch. But now he's actually in the tier. He's definitely showing why he belongs here. Because remember, he got put in Tier 1 before he joined Tier 2 for a couple races in Austria and Britain. But he's certainly proving to be much more at home in Tier 1. And that strategy of waiting longer, pitting after the rest, and having fresher rubber has certainly helped him. Samurai, I mean, for him, he's just got to hope, you know, maybe keep Yannick behind as much as possible, because he knows Yannick's mediums might fall off too, and maybe overtake him. But Yannick's got no battery, and neither has Samurai, to be fair. So if Eggy's saved his tyres enough, maybe he can close back to these guys. Lap 19, and Oren is still out in the lead. But I think no matter what, Oren will not be winning this one, because he pitted on lap 6, 13 lap old hards. In a couple laps time, that should be usually when the hards get to, when you pit around lap 10 and whatnot. I think Oren will try to go to the end. I think that's really his only option now. I say over the wall from someone. Yeah, I think at the moment Oren's only option now, because I did kind of expect him to pit around lap 16 to 18, but the fact we're on lap 19 now, he's just got to try and brave it, go 20 laps on those hards, and see where he can finish. And if he is going to try and stick it out to the end, you can probably guess the future right now that Fnatic will overtake Oren on the straight at the end of this lap. Then we're going to see Samurai versus Oren, the top 2 in the championship fight, as Fnatic saving up 100% battery, as allowing the rest to close in slightly as well. 5 cars, make that nearly 6, because Yonder has been slowly but surely closing up to these guys after pitting for a 2nd time. Never discount Yonder either. You never know, any one of these 6 could win the race now. But at the moment, the one with the best chance is Fnatic, because he's all over Oren now. He's going to get the DRS. He's got the battery over the Aston. He can see him flashing. Oren goes to the left of the track. Fnatic will go to the right, and he will overtake Oren and go back into the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix as we start lap 20. So Fnatic into P1, Oren down to P2. And next up, we'll see if it's Samurai or Yannick who closes up to him. How well can Oren stick with Fnatic? I mean, if you look at Oren's tyres, they don't actually look that bad. So maybe the degradation on the mediums is very much higher than the hards. There has been quite a lot of the stories of the tyres this season with a lot of the tracks. Or this game, should I say. Yeah, top 4 getting ever closer to one another. Eggy just sticking back right now, unfortunately. Maybe not having the right pace he needs. To the fact where I think Yonder may even get him. Toby just out on his own, unfortunately, because of that wing damage and that spin. I guess we'll find out what happened between him and Samurai. As into the pits is Cow. I guess it's a bit of a free pit stop for him. As Grush still trying to close up to Matt and Toby. Bit of a fight there for 7th. Looks like there'll be a little bit of a fight for 5th if Yonder's closing up to Eggy. But there's certainly a 4-car fight for the win at the moment. Or maybe it'll be a 3-car fight for 2nd, because Fnatic is now starting to check out. He's got Oren over a 2nd, and Samurai's trying to get within a 2nd of his rival. Level battery between Oren and Samurai, but it's not going to matter because Samurai will surely now be within DRS of Oren and the top 2 in the World Championship. Neck and neck now. Samurai to the inside, but Oren's slow, and Oren will now get the DRS on Samurai. Samurai will not get it. Samurai's blasted all his battery. Now he's a sitting duck. Moves to the left. Oren to the inside. Through goes Yannick. Nearly on the pair of them. Past Samurai at least. And Yannick stays in the middle. I thought he was going to get the pair of them. But Oren managed to save his battery after that mistake. And Oren stays in front of them somehow. And after all that, it's Samurai who's lost out to Yannick, who might now get Oren on this straight. Oren doing everything he can to keep hold of at least of his championship lead. And Yannick blasting his battery, so is Oren. And Yannick round the outside, trying to get the move done, but Oren is parking his car right where he needs to. This is allowing Fnatic to beautifully run away with it. And yeah, tactical play from Oren. I wonder if Samurai should have seen that coming a little more with the detection point. Because I think you could see Oren on the left slow down to make sure he got the DRS. Which has cost him. I really thought Yannick was going to get past the pair of them there. But obviously Oren had the DRS, which kept him in front. So another lap they're going to spend behind the Aston. You can see Samurai's tyres withering away. This is allowing Eggy and Yonder to close up even more towards them. So it's going to be a 5-car fight for 2nd as Fnatic looks all but comfortable out in the lead with, as soon as he crosses the line, 5 laps to go as Yannick to the inside of Oren. Once again, before we head into the DRS detection, Oren will get it. 30, 50, 20. Oren could get back in front at this rate. Oren to the inside. Nearly hits Yannick into the wall there. But as we start the DRS detection straight, is Yannick under pressure from Samurai? He's got no battery. He's got no battery himself, but Oren flies by. Samurai flies by. Eggy watches that unfold, and Yannick has dropped behind. Samurai now breaks late. Nearly run to the back of Samurai, who now has to watch himself because of Oren, and that allows Yannick back through on the Williams, as he's definitely going to get annoyed. As round the outside goes Eggy. What a move. What capitalization from the Mercedes. Samurai is getting, unfortunately, dropped down the order for his sake. Yannick fighting away with Oren, who's doing his absolute best to hold on ancient tyres to P2. Yannick to the inside, can't quite get ahead of the Aston right now. Oren is delivering a masterclass of defence, and against his main rival, who's just falling down, unfortunately, he's got to try and pick his way back through. 5 cars now, all nose to tail, as Fnatic's going to win this race by about 10 to 15 seconds at this rate, because Oren is placing his car absolutely where he needs to be on 16 lap-old hard compound tyres. Pitting lap 6 because he knew those mediums he treated at the start were done for with all the sliding. And at the moment, well, this is why he's leading the championship. He's got the wheel knowledge and the racecraft to hold on, even onto the track, as the rest starting to hold their battery. 68, 51, 76, 56, 37. Well, stand by. This is going to be quite an interesting last few laps to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Yannick, this is his chance now. He's got more battery. Now he's got the DRS, which will activate soon. And they're both blasting. Here comes Eggy, though, who got past Samurai. Could it be a double overtake from Eggy? Through the middle goes Eggy. He's past Oren. Down the inside on Yannick. Eggy, who was 5th. Oren to the inside. 3 wide into turn 1. And through goes Samurai. Nearly past all of them. But Eggy has managed to stay 2nd. And suddenly, Samurai and Eggy have capitalised on Yannick and Oren. Wow, that was close. And through went Samurai and through went Eggy, just about on all of them. So the swaps continue. And you always think one of them's just going to get every one of them, which is what I thought of Eggy, Yannick at first, then Eggy, now Samurai. But there's always one who's just managing to hold on. But the main thing, Oren has now gone from 2nd down to 5th after all that. So, well, Samurai was annoyed. Now he might not be so annoyed. Yannick wasn't annoyed. Now he might be annoyed. Eggy was definitely annoyed. Now he's going to be loving it up in 2nd. And, well, classic. Yonder's just at the back watching all this unfold. Oren in an RB sandwich. Another reminder, Aston 14 points ahead of RB. And at the moment, the only Aston in this race in the RB sandwich. So 20 points to Aston's 10 at the moment. Would close the gap to 5 points. But if Yonder gets past Oren, 22 to 8, 14, the gap would be 1 point in the Constructors' Championship between RB and Aston Martin. Oren falling further behind now. Samurai losing DRS to Eggy. So Yannick can still fight for this podium. Yonder has got in front of Oren. Has he damaged another wing? Yes, he has. Oren's gone through 2 front wings this race because he's lost his right end play at some point. And well, he definitely changed it. That's why he was behind at one point. Anyway, for the first time in a few laps, there's no overtakes on the start-finish straight. Eggy, after just biding his time right at the back as Oren finally decides to pit. That's going to really cost him against Toby and Grush. Matt did pit with those 3 fighting. So the championship leader puts on the mediums and will exit down in P8. And the question will be, can he salvage any more points to Grush and Toby? For now, the top 5 look okay. Look at that. Matt, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 42.5. That's Samurai. Get past Eggy. Eggy's made a mistake. What's going on with Eggy? Oh no, is this more lag issues? Or has he got a... No. No, he's definitely not got a puncture. Ah. Well, the stream stopped, and for some reason it won't allow me to restream, so I'm recording on my phone, because why not? So, Eggy dropped down to 5th because of an issue. Don't know if it was lag related. But he's got back in front of Yannick, as I think his mediums are starting to fall off now. You can just see the amount of time he's losing. So maybe it wasn't the right strategy for Yannick. He pitted very early, remember, because of that virtual safety car that allowed him to gain some ground. But maybe it was too early. He should have gone longer. So Eggy's back up to 4th. And Samurai doing everything he can to hold on to this P2, which would mean a lot in his fight against Oren, who's in 8th. But he's closing rapidly on Grush and Toby. And Fnatic's just loving life out in front. He's definitely going to win the Grand Prix as he's heading on to his final lap with Samurai versus Yonder versus Eggy. Yonder trying to make a bit of history, I guess, today. He's joint first for most podiums without a win on 8. He's looking to get a 9th, but can he snatch 3 points off Samurai as well? Yonder, 20%. Samurai, 6%. Yeah, it's just not allowed. Look, it's just not allowing me to live stream, unfortunately. Oren, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. On those mediums, he will catch up to Toby. And he knows there's 4 points on offer right in front of him. As we see, that's close. Yonder round the outside of Samurai on the final lap. Yonder's got in front of the Williams with a great move around the outside of turn 3 with wing damage as well.
So Yonder up into P2 now, and now Samurai's got to hold on to this podium place in the fight with Eggy. Now there's an incident. Toby around for the second time in this race with wing damage, and that allows Oren up into 7th. And with the nature of this racetrack, Oren may be able to get Garush on the line for P6 as well. So Samurai trying to get every point he can over Oren's 33-point lead. At the moment, 15 ahead of 6, that's 9, but Oren could gain 2 points. Samurai could lose 3 points. It's going to be quite close to see how this plays out. We've got more yellows. I think that's just the Ferrari slowing down to let Fnatic through. Fnatic, who got Jack into the league. He's going to finish 11th, unfortunately, but his mate out in front, Fnatic, who weaves down the straight, knows now is his time. 4th time of asking. Fnatic's done it. Fnatic wins the Baku Grand Prix, and Haas are on top in Azerbaijan. What a great victory for the Haas. Yonder will be P2, and now we're going to see a drag to the line. Eggy versus Samurai, who goes defensive to the left, and that's going to keep him the podium just about on the line. 19 thousandths between Samurai and Eggy. Yonder P2, 9 podiums without a win. It's a new record. Samurai holds on to 3rd, and Oren did get Garush at the end there on the line for P6, as Yannick in the middle got P5. So Fnatic wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Yonder P2. Samurai just held on by 19 thousandths ahead of Eggy for P4, and Yannick 5th, Oren 6th, Garush 7th, Toby will be 8th, Matt will be 9th, Cal will get a point, and Jack on his debut will just miss out in P11. That's annoying that the stream cut off. I don't know why. No, it's just not allowing me to do anything. Ugh. Yeah, what a crazy race. So Samurai gets 3rd, Oren gets 6th, 15, 8, 7, 33 to 26. That was quite close, though, when Samurai tried to defend from Eggy over the line. I don't know how many times he moved, but he moved to block Eggy's momentum, but not really hitting him per se. So I think on initial look, it was okay, but I guess we'll have another look at that. I'm going to end this recording after I've got the race director, even though no one, got 3-second pens, but may as well. I can't even press start recording on my Xbox as well, otherwise I would resort to that instead of, this. Alright. Can I screenshot this? I can. Okay. Oh. That is the shortest race director I've ever seen. Well then. I'm going to have fun editing this onto the already live stream. That's just great. Watch it be able to stream now that the race is over. Yeah. Oh, something came up. Oh, I'm going to quickly restart my Xbox. This is a bit different. Got a bit of explaining to do as I'm trying to reload F1. That's just great. Right, we have Samurai and Fnatic joining at the moment. Yonder said he might be able to do an interview, but he needs to do something first. So we'll expect him to join in a few minutes. We go to the showroom. Right, first things first. Samurai, are you there, mate? Have you included your audio?
Yep.
Fnatic, are you there, mate?
Yep.
Have you included your audio?
Yep.
Okay, so first things first.
unfortunately, with about 3 or so laps to go, the stream just cut off. It just stopped, and I went back to the live stream button, kept spamming it. It just wouldn't allow me to redo the stream. So instead of maybe just restarting my Xbox, leaving and missing out on maybe the last few laps, I probably would have joined on the last lap or something. I recorded the last 3 laps on my phone and tried to commentate over that. I don't know how. I'll edit it with the stream and try and get it out so you all can hear. But that'll be, I don't know, some time from now. For now, second stream. I guess I'll catch everyone up on what happened. But for now, let's head to the interviews and start off with our race winner, our newest EXFL Tier 2 race winner, IOR Fanatic. You have just won the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in tremendous style. What a race from you. And yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, a fortnight ago, because obviously this is your 4th race now,
Yeah.
P7, P2, P8 and P1. That P8 would have been P2 on the road, but obviously the speeding.
Yeah.
A fortnight ago, when you got your first podium in Spa, we had a little conversation about how you always like to stay out longer, have the better tyres at the end. And boy, oh boy, was that the key to winning this race for you today as a, perfect strategy. Just take us through qualifying in the race from your point of view then.
Well, obviously to begin with, I started off slowing qualifying, just get a feel for the track, for the grip to do my final lap. The final lap actually went better than expected, so locking out the second row with both Haas cars was a great start, and I knew from that point that I would have a chance in the race to get on the podium or even go for the win. And then a few laps into the race where I saw Oran and Eggy struggling, that's when I knew that was my time to sort of get a move on. I sort of bided my time in the first couple of laps while they were battling quite heavily. And then when Oran's rear tyres started to go, I knew that was the time to get into the lead and obviously go as long as I wanted to, which was lap 12, I believe. So about 75% on the tyres. So then I pitted, and I was surprised to see how close I was to Samurai on the overcut. So again, I just sort of took my time, got a feeling for the tyres, and then as the tyres came to me, that was when the pace appeared. And as I said a couple of weeks ago, Baku is one of my strongest tracks, so it's great to obviously get my first win in EXFL and obviously go off what I said a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. You are certainly going to be one to watch when you first joined in the second half of the season. I think definitely the star of the second half will be you. After all, now you've got your first win. It was a very cool surprise to see right at the end of quali, you and Toby lock out the second row. Unfortunately, Toby's race didn't go as well. But yeah, you bided your time in the first few laps, watched Oren and Eggy duel it out. It looks like Oren's tyres fell off and Eggy's soon fell off right after. And you managed to brilliantly position yourself to be in the lead, build a little bit of a gap. Yannick was closing, and then you found the right time to pit, come out. Yeah, like you said, not that far behind Samurai, actually, because, again, I was referencing Belgium. You came out 7 seconds behind, got it down to 3. So obviously 3.6 or whatever it was looked a lot better, especially with a 3-lap tyre advantage around a track like here. The VSC probably delayed your overtake on Samurai by a lap, but nonetheless you got it done. And as soon as you got past Oren and Samurai and whatnot, you never looked back. Got won by, what was it, like 13 seconds or something?
Yeah,
it was
just locked in.
Brilliant.
I knew that was my time to go once I got past Oran for the lead, and I knew I had more ERS because I know Oran, Eggy and a couple of others were struggling on ERS through the race. I could just tell by the D rating on the straights. So I was purposely holding as much battery as I could during the whole race, as this is one of the worst tracks for getting it back over a single lap.
And on that last lap, because obviously you got your mate Jack into the league to make his debut today, just missing out on points, unfortunately finishing in 11th. I was almost right. If you finish Baku, you'll get points. 11, almost 10. But yeah, I saw right at the end there was a yellow caused by him. I'm guessing he slowed down to let you lap him. And
Yeah, he did.
had a little. Yeah, that was really cool. So yeah, I saw obviously weaving on the straight, taking it all in to become the newest EXFL Tier 2 race winner. It's a great achievement. You should be very happy and proud of that.
I am.
And yeah, that's great. So next week, Singapore. How are you feeling about that one?
Again, another strong track for me. A few 90-degree corners, low speed track. I'll try and maximise my race setup again, like I did today, and hope for the best. It might not be as strong as Baku, but I'm always going to give it a shot for the win.
That's a perfect answer. So yeah, looking forward to Singapore as well then from you. Yeah, I guess the big question is just how far can you rise up the championship order and whatnot, because there's quite a big battle starting to form with Grush, Toby, Yonder, Yannick, those four for P3 in the standings. And if you're beating all of them every race nearly, I mean, what, you got 6, 24, 28, plus the 25 today, 53, and Grush was on like 120 something. He's probably on 130 something. Ooh, that's still quite a lot. 6 races to like 60 to 80 points. I don't know. But I mean, 7th I'd say is definitely on the cards after all them. But yeah, that would be a great achievement still.
Definitely.
So yeah, very well done. You've ticked that one off then. First podium a fortnight ago. First win today. Maybe a first pole, who knows. But the win is obviously what matters more. So yeah, very well done.
Thank you.
Moving on to P2. Yonder has joined the party. Yonder, are you there, mate?
Yep, can you hear me?
Have you included your audio?
Yep.
All right. So Yonder in the RB has, like I said, made a little bit of history today. Most podiums without a win. You told me a few weeks ago, I forgot what race it was. You said, I'm going to do it today. I think you just missed out. It was like a 4th or a 5th. But yeah, P2, it's your second P2 actually. 7 P3s, now 2 P2s. Once again, getting ever closer. I did think today we're going to have a new winner, but will it be Fnatic or you? But you both managed to end up being the top 2 anyway. But yeah, last to second. Another classic drive from you. If you don't win comeback of the season, I don't know how, considering I think every race this season you've done something like that. But yeah, P2, a great result for RB, who I'm now just thinking about it. 5th, you're second. Yannick 5th. Oren 6th.
Should move ahead of them, no?
So you and Yannick combined is 28. Oren got 8, 20. Aston were 15 ahead of RB. So yes, after today, RB are now back in front of Aston Martin by 5 points to lead the constructor standings with 6 to go. Very interesting stuff, and that a big part of that is because of you getting these great podiums as well as Yannick. So yeah, how do you think the race? Well, I was going to say quali, but ignore that. How do you think the race went from your perspective? Quite a dramatic opening lap as you made up places, but then got wing damage. So what was just going through your head throughout all that?
I mean, I think if I remember correctly, I bottled the grid, so I was on 50-degree tyres or something going into the first couple turns, so I was like, right, I'll just take it easy like normal. I think I was on the exit of turn 2, there was like 4 wide. I was thinking, this could be P8 down the inside. Only settled for P10, and then, I think you mentioned there was I think it was an Alpine and a Red Bull decided to like lock their tyres together, and one of them went spearing off into me, and a couple others took some front wings, and to be honest, it felt all right, the front wing damage. I don't know if that's just because some people's tyre wear was really bad. Like I know Oren was telling me on that first stint on the mediums, for some reason he was doing like 12% a lap. So
Jeez.
It was all right. I mean, I was, the main beneficiary of both those VSCs. I was like pretty much coming in as both of them came out, so it kind of landed me in a good position. First of all, to get the front wing removed, and then obviously get the, what is it, like 10 seconds, 15 seconds cheaper pit stops. So no, overall it was a good race, but it was a bit lucky.
Yeah, so the opening lap, yeah, it was a connecting between Grush, the McLaren, and the Red Bull of Cookster, and I
Mhm.
think Cookster just bounced off and hit you, gave you your damage, but that didn't stop you because obviously the top five were battling, and then you were just there in sixth, closing up, and then you pitted. Like I said, it was weird because it should be a one stop medium to about just gone halfway, and then just before halfway, and then the hards. You managed to do two medium stints in practically what should have been one medium stint. So you were able to just push the whole way, and yeah, the VSCs did help a little bit. But then you just used your tyres perfectly. At one point, you were, I think, 20 seconds off Oren, who stayed out, and then you caught them all. So yeah, amazing pace at the end there to catch up to the big train. But obviously there was a lot of battling and defending and
Well,
holding up,
I do
which
remember
helped.
last year I had an absolute nightmare here, even to the point
Oh
where
yeah,
you
I do
messaged
recall
me
that.
and you were like, "Oh, just
Oh no, because you were having
put it in the
brake
pit."
issues. Yeah. Well, that's quite the polar opposite. The brake issues at Ferrari to P2 for RB. So that's
I'll
a
take it.
fantastic effort. And did I notice that you went through two front wings that race?
Uh,
You didn't have a right end plate
yeah,
on the last lap, I noticed.
I think it was the on lap 14, so that my first proper lap out the pits. I think turn one, I wasn't used to being in people's DRS, and just overshot the corner a bit too much, caught the front right on the exit of turn one. But to be honest,
Ooh.
all the time I felt better without that front wing end plate. So maybe I should have just kept it off for the race.
Fair enough. And yeah, you were making your way up bit by bit. Eggy had some sort of issue. We'll ask Samurai about that in a
Connection
moment.
issue or
That dropped
something.
him.
It was weird.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah. Um, I thought at first, oh, maybe a puncture, or maybe he's hit the wall because he's ghosted. But I think it was a connection issue, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll find out. So that moved you up one, and then when the stream all ended, I think you just the RBs swapped, didn't they? You got past Yannick.
Yeah, that was like lap 24, I think, something like
Yeah, and
that.
then on the final lap, you delivered a brilliant move around the outside of Samurai at turn three to get P2. And yeah, ninth podium. Will the 10th be the one, do you think? 10th podium, first win.
No,
What's the aim?
I'm only here for the podiums, mate. That's all.
Fair enough. Bit of a difference from the rest, I guess. But still, nonetheless, great drive once again from last all the way up to get some great points. It just keeps working. And a track like this, fair enough. Singapore might prove a little bit more of a challenge, but we'll see. Anyway, for now, very well done on P2. Moving on to P3, Samurai in the Williams. Well, that was a last gasp at the podium straws there. Quite an eventful race from you. You qualified, was it sixth?
Sixth, yeah.
Sixth. And then, yeah, so that's the scene set. Your closest rival, who you're chasing down in the championship, 33 points trailing, is on pole. You're down in sixth. If it was to stay like that, it would go up to 50 points. But opening few laps, Oren starts to go a bit backwards. You start to make your way up a little bit. Who was fit? You got past Cookster, who then fell into trouble behind. And then you got past, was it Toby, who, yeah, he didn't really blast much. So you were into fourth, and Oren was in third, and then Oren pitted. And then it looked like you were starting to lose a bit of the tyre wear, falling a bit further back. You pitted lap 9. Got some pretty good distance between you and the likes of Eggy and whatnot in terms of undercuts, and also undercutting Fnatic, and then through the VSCs and whatnot. I'm sure tyre wear must have been the big issue, reflecting in the pace.
Yeah.
But let's start off for once at the end. So the final lap, I'm sure there wasn't really a lot you could do against Yonder around the outside, but that last lap on the straight with Eggy, just take us through that.
Well, basically, I just didn't have enough battery at the moment. I think I had 30 something, and then I turned it off before the last two chicane, and I was hoping maybe he will get ahead, so I played a little DRS chicken right there, but after that he didn't overtake me, so I went wide, and then I went to the right. He moved to the right, and I went to the right. So
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. When Eggy's closing up to you, your car's like drifting right, and obviously the wall on the right is closing up because you're at an angle. And before Eggy gets alongside you on the right, I think he can tell there's not enough of a gap to go into, so he last second has to switch to the left, and unfortunately, I think he tags for his sake, he tags the back of you, which stops his momentum, allowing you to just stay in front of him over the line. If he had not hit you, I think it would have been very, very close. But
Yeah.
I think Eggy realised too late. I don't think, because initially I thought, have you moved too late or whatnot, but I think that's literally just Eggy just not misjudging it, not judging it well enough. So yeah, I think overall that was okay, but there were still quite a few other things I want to ask you about because you were right there when it happened. So going a little further back, what happened with Eggy? Was it just a connection thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I was chasing him, and I clipped it what happened, so I can show it later. But yeah, he was in front of me, and then he just poof disappeared.
So it was a bit very similar to last season with the
exactly like last season.
Exactly. Oh, that's so unfortunate because those battles on like lap 20 or 21 where you all swapped from second down to sixth were awesome.
Yeah.
I could tell out of it all you were probably getting the most annoyed because you had all the opportunity to get second and you dropped down to fourth or fifth after like one of the laps, and you were getting screwed over most because Oren was doing some really good defending and playing a bit of DRS games. But then the lap after, you and Eggy just absolutely went past everyone. Actually, the lap before, Eggy went round your outside after to add salt in the wound. But then right after, it looked like you and Eggy managed to come out of it. And then obviously the issue with Eggy allowed you into second. But I'm guessing it was the tyre where there was just unfortunately not allowing you to push as much by the end.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I guess the main thing we all want to know the answer to, what happened when you pit with Toby?
With Toby?
Yeah, so you pitted and then suddenly we see Toby spun on a straight.
I think because I didn't see that, I just saw what he's gonna come into my back and something like that, because that was lap 9, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going into the pit, and the game told me it's red, so I had to brake because obviously there's a wall there, and I had to brake because the game told me, and I didn't want to risk anything going into the wall or me getting a 10-second penalty. So I braked a bit earlier. I think he wanted to get some more time of me or something.
Oh, I've just seen Toby's POV of it. Yeah, I can't lie, that's probably on Toby. Because he can see you moving over to the left. He's following you, but obviously he doesn't want to pit. So he knows you're going to obviously brake. And then he's just moved too hastily, and he's lost the car because of that.
Oh.
So I think unfortunately that's on Toby. I don't really see how you could have done anything differently. You didn't like brake check it, like slam on the brake. You just decreased your speed normally, and it looked like Toby was he reacted too much. He just I don't know.
Yeah.
It looked a bit much. So I think overall, because I was wondering a few points, like you've been like Toby's spun and Eggy's dropped down, and they've both been next to you, but I didn't catch either, so I didn't know the whole time if you were like at fault for either of them. But it's good to clear those up. So I think at the moment you're fine. So yeah, you just hung on for 3 valuable points ahead of Eggy there for a podium, and your championship rival down in 6th, because there was also a thing with Toby at the end, and he managed to get Grusha line. So overall, P3 for you, P6 for Oren, 33 points, 33 points goes down to 26, so just over a win with 6 to go. It's been a bit back and forth recently, Hungary,
Yeah.
Oren extends. Belgium, you close in. Netherlands, Oren extends. Today, you close in. Singapore, it's going to be an interesting one, because that's in Season 9 where Oren, like the downfall started to happen. But who knows? We'll see how it plays out. Obviously, the closer the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now, very well done.
Thank you.
I'm sure you were a bit disappointed maybe with the quali, but the race certainly was a lot better. So very well done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has been the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Well done to Samurai on P3, Yonder on P2, and Fnatic on taking a brilliant maiden victory around the streets of Baku. We'll see you in 1 week's time for Singapore.